I could sing. I'll be doing like a shanty. Can we talk for a minute? You know, can we talk for a minute?
All right. Sam ain't got no mask on.
Ma'am, I have a mask.
I don't care. Put you a mask on.
Okay, we live, man.
Oh.
It's okay. We live. After you cuss me out. It's okay.
My sister,
Got 2 minutes.
I love you. All about woman power. Black woman power.
We still on mute, right? After she didn't cuss me out.
Put that mask on. I don't care. Put it on.
I can't talk with it on,
You
man.
can't talk about this stuff and not have no mask on.
Okay, we finna have an announcement.
All right. See, look, you can see your face.
No, she just trying to be the boss of me. Everybody's trying to be the boss of me. We ready.
You act like this ain't normal.
I know. We ready.
All right.
So it's live.
All right.
Gotta pause my music. Okay, so welcome. This is Friday, our first show of the year, and I couldn't let this be a show that didn't have any substance with it. So first of all, I'm Samantha, and today you are tuned in to Samantha Wise Words, and I got my sister here, Artesia.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
She gonna keep me right. Y'all see the mask.
Yes.
You know, the mask.
I'm not playing with her today. Okay, we're not playing.
You know what I said? Every time somebody always trying to boss me around, but I'm gonna let my little sister tell me what to do because she is an expert in this field. Now, if it's working out or something like that, then I get to tell her what to do.
Basically.
But because she is the expert in this, I had to bring sis through. I wanted to give you like a little update on what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about COVID. Every aspect of COVID, catching it, avoiding it, running away from it, being factual. Because I think what the news is putting out there is a little bit too extreme. And I think we just need people that look like us, that talk like us, to be able to break it down and to make it easy. Because I think when I first saw the diagnosis and how they were testing, and they looked like it was going up into somebody's brain, I was like, I'm not going to get tested. I'm definitely not going to let them put that thing up in my nose, regardless of the fact. But it wasn't as bad, and I tried to make sure that all the 7 times that I did take it, that I recorded it to show people that it wasn't a hard process. It didn't get into my brain. It was in my nostril area, but it was well worth it, so to speak. I want to introduce my sister, Artesia Sanders. She's an RN, MSN, nurse case manager, and a healthcare influencer. And what I mean by healthcare influencer is somebody that can break up what the doctor says into a layman's term. She's an advocate for the patients. She's want to make sure that her community, Oakland, California, the Bay Area, Alameda County, California, we know what's right. We don't want to just take anybody's word about our health. So that's why I had to bring my sister on to be able to tell us in layman's terms about this process. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself really quick, and then I'm gonna go into my story, and then we're gonna kind of play back and forth. If you guys have any questions or anything for Artesia or for myself, please feel free to hit us on the link. Make sure if you're on Facebook, follow us on YouTube as well, because at some point we're going to cut off of Facebook and you won't be able to hear the rest of the story or the rest of what we have unless you on YouTube. And when you get to YouTube, you got to like and subscribe to the page, because we're going to have plenty more of these type of conversations. We'll bring people from your Bay Area, so on and so forth. And I want to give a shout out. We have a couple of people in our audience. I'll give a shout out to them later on. But for now, we're going to look at my sister and let her introduce herself and tell us what she does.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, Sam. Anyway, yes, like she said, my name is Artesia Sanders. I'm a nurse case manager, born and raised here in Oakland. I'm more of an inpatient advocate. I have a master's of science of nursing from a university right here in Oakland, Samuel Merritt University. I specialize in case management, and I work for a hospital in the Concord area called John Muir. Previously, I worked for Alta Bates Medical Group and Brown and Toland as well, who manages all the hospitals under Sutter, also UCSF, and some Dignity Health hospitals. I've been in case management for about 13 years. I'm a new nurse, but I have worked in all different infrastructures of the hospital, from utilization management, authorizations, quality insurance, appeals and grievances, you name it, I've done it. And I'm here to help out my sister, and make sure that everyone gets the information that they need to stay healthy in this pandemic.
Told y'all she was smart. She's smart and she's pretty, and she's willing to help her community. So that's all the qualities that I think that I helped her come up with, because I'm her older sister.
She's been on me forever, you guys.
I've been knowing her since they was driving my car. They used to steal my car. And go look at boys and stuff.
Yes, guilty. I went to the side shows and everything in her car. Come on now.
Yeah, doing donuts, and I was wondering why they had no gas when my car came back, so on and so forth. But someone sent the text and says, go to YouTube's Samantha Wise. And if you have a link, there is a link you can just kind of follow there. But we're going to go ahead and get started. How about that?
That's cool. Let's do this.
This topic became very, very important to me because I myself was recently diagnosed with COVID-19. And I had been with this group of ladies for the beginning of COVID. And we kind of made a pact to one another that, we're going to stay safe. We're going to do what we got to do, so on and so forth. So towards the end of the year, because we had been safe for the whole 9-10 months that we were in COVID, we was like, let us, stop and let's enjoy each other for once without, having our, not that we decided to not have our mask on, but I think we got comfortable. And not that it was anything that we did wrong. We didn't do anything wrong, but somebody could have been next to somebody and somebody could have been next to somebody. And then that way it's an exposure. So I got a call or a text on January the 2nd saying that one of my good friends had COVID. So that spun me into, oh goodness, let me go get checked. And so by the time you get appointed with Kaiser, it's already 2 days past before you can get an appointment with Kaiser. And then there's another 2 days. You have to wait a day and a half before you get your diagnosis. So by me knowing that I had been exposed, I had to let the people know who I had contact with. And for me, that was the saddest part of it, because the day before New Year's, which is New Year's Eve, I went to one of my aunt's house, my auntie August's house. And she's battled with some health conditions, so on and so forth. But she kept her mask on the whole time. And I kind of pulled mine down, pull it up, pull it down, pull it up. But I never got too close to her. Well, she was actually running from me. I don't know. I see why she was running from me. She was actually running from me. But I did go to her house. So I had to let her know, Auntie, go get checked out. And, you know, I'm an older person as well. But when you older than older, you kind of like, oh, dang, you know, whatever. But she never made me feel like, damn, Sam, why did you come here with that? She never made me feel like that. She was just like, niece, it's okay. You know, I'm going to go get checked out. And then I had to call my oldest auntie, who's like 70, you know, her upper 70s. And I didn't even tell her because I couldn't tell her.
You felt guilty?
I felt guilty.
I know you did. That's how most people feel. They feel guilty.
Okay, so I'm put away.
Yeah, that's how most people feel too.
I felt ashamed just because I felt like I brought this to my family and my older aunties. And I went to my auntie house on New Year's Day for like maybe 30 minutes, and I didn't get too close to her. I kind of stayed in her kitchen and she was in her living room. But having to tell them that I exposed y'all to COVID, and then they went to Walgreens.
Oh, God.
And so they went to Walgreens, and so during that process, it took them another 7 days to get their results back. So all this time, I'm feeling shameful, embarrassed, and people was like, well, how did your test come back? And I was like, I don't know. It said abnormal.
I hear that all the time, though, Sam. People always tell me I feel real guilty. You know, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. You're not alone in that comment. You know, I hear that all the time.
It's sad. But then to find out, you know, praise God, they didn't have it. I didn't, you know, nobody in my family got it. That in my house got it. My aunts, you know, they text me and was like, it was negative. And I praise God. And I end up giving money away. I was like, oh, praise Jesus, because that guilt was like really, it was killing you. It was on me.
It was on you.
It was on me. And then I felt bad for those other ladies that really were sick by the situation. I didn't get sick. So people can be walking around, right?
Yeah, it's metabolic. Like I was telling someone else, I said, you know, it doesn't matter. It all depends on the stress that's in your body. So one person, it could be someone who's 86 years old. They could be perfectly fine. And then the next person could be 42 years old. And then she go right on down the scale.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter. You know, it depends on what type of stress is hitting your body. Like that's going on with you currently. Like you could be hypertensive. You could be a diabetic. You can be congestive heart failure. You can have some issues with respiratory problems. You can have asthma. You can have COPD. There's all different problems that can, you know, that a person can be dealing with right now, and then all of a sudden they become exposed to COVID, and those are the symptoms that just take them right on down, along with that diagnosis. So I mean, it's a little sad, you know. It's a little sad because I hear that all the time. You know, we have doctors and nurses who cry because they're scared that they'll go home and expose their families, or they're scared to go outside of the hospital into the community, thinking that they will catch it in the community. You know, because most people are scared of the hospital, but the truth is, like, we know who has COVID because we test people as soon as they come into the door, and then we make our decisions on where we're going to put them at that point.
Okay.
Whereas in the community, you don't know who has it. You know, you walking around and, you know, you talking to your friends, and things like COVID, it gets you when you're most comfortable. You know what I mean? That's when you're vulnerable. When you talk to your aunt, you're talking to your family, you're talking to your niece, your husband, any of them, and you don't know. And some people walking around with hypertension, because hypertension is a silent killer. You don't even know you have it. You know what I'm saying? You walking around with high blood pressure, and that could be the reason why you get affected. And the next person, they don't even get affected at all because they don't have anything wrong with them. Like you work out all the time. Other people, they just walking around with all the stress on their body. Next thing you know, they get affected by COVID. And it could have been you or someone else that may touch them. And then they go out and they touch 10 more people. Right. That person hit 10 more people. There's 10 more people. Just from you touching one, it could be 100,000. Just that fast.
And that's the scary part to me, because I think people are so ashamed of having it.
Yeah.
They never tell the people that they come in contact with.
Right.
And so by me not knowing that the person I was near had symptoms, or they knew they had a temperature, I felt like, tell me. So then I wouldn't have gone to my auntie house. I wouldn't have gone to Mika house. I wouldn't have had something at the store. I wouldn't have done XYZ, because as you said, when one person touches, whatever, and then I'm going to go touch 8 people. They touching 8 people, then that touches 8 people, so it increased like that.
But a lot of people who are sick, they take medications that have a fever component, and when I say that, we call them pyretics. So someone may take a medication that reduces fever. Right. So even though you may walk into a room and you go, oh, I'm gonna take your temperature, the medication that they already on existing is making their fever, non-existent. So you don't even know. So that person is just a carrier. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, well, I'm doing everything I need to do, but really, you really don't know what they've taken that day. They could have taken an aspirin, they could, a Tylenol, Motrin, they could have been sore, took a Motrin, you come work out, people are sore, right. They could be taking any type of thing, and next thing you know, they don't have a fever, it's non-existent, and then they touch you and everybody else. Now everybody walking around with COVID.
So what I want people to know is that you need to know your status at all times. You need to know, because I do temperature checks. I do, but as she said, you can take a Tylenol.
You take a Tylenol, like I'm sore, because you work out, that lactic acid in your body makes you sore. And some people, if they finish workout, you make them take the BCAAs or however they do, for that post workout soreness. Right. And people take aspirin, Motrin, come in the next day, work out with you, and no fever whatsoever. And they're shedding it. When you're feverish, you're shedding it. You're shedding it. So you're giving it to everyone and not even knowing it, because you're taking medication to keep your fever low already.
So it's like silent. It's definitely silent, something that's going around.
And it gets you when you're comfortable. That's the thing about it. It gets you when you're comfortable.
And your guards are down.
15 minutes of speaking to somebody. I take my mask off. I'm talking to my girl. Hey, girl, what's going on? No. Y'all going back and forth. 15 minutes. That's all it takes. Boom. This person, they got it.
So I'm getting a text from Pookie saying you need a real mask and not a shield.
Thank you, Pookie. I told her. Look.
Okay.
I gave her that. You look, see, I told her I can't go on here without no mask on. You gonna get me home. That's your mom.
Yeah, but you see, I have so many people to remind me to be right, which I think after having COVID and having to be isolated for all those days, it taught me a lot about it. And like I said, I've been reading this. This is a lot of this stuff, and I know you got a binder as well, because I wanted to make sure that I knew as much as I could so that I can share with my community. So after you're diagnosed with COVID, we're going to take this little trip with me. After you diagnosed with COVID, you get these texts like, we're going to put you on this list on your phone. So everybody that you come in contact will get a bing. It's still bing when you walk by. And I'm like, I don't want nobody getting a bing when I walk by, whatever. I'm just going to be safe, in that environment. And then you start getting these emails and texts from the health department.
Yes.
And then you get something from the state of California. Then you get something from the CDC. You get all these texts. But what I can say about Kaiser, when I found out, when they send you the thing, they also send you this huge box with everything you need. Kaiser sends to you. They call it a quarantine support kit.
Right.
And it was a huge box, and it had hand sanitizer, one-time use masks. And these masks right here, you ain't gonna use this one time, right?
Yes, one time, throw it away.
So yeah, one time use, throw it away, because it's no good. And then if you touch the inside of it, it's no longer any good.
It's any good, not at all.
Right?
That's right.
And then people like me be wearing it down here or wearing it right here. That's not where your mask belong. And it's gotta be,
you need to have the mask on properly. So make sure that you take the part on top. It's a hard part in here. And you put this not upside down, like I always see, it's upside down. And you make sure that the blue part is on the outside, not in the inside, okay? And make sure that the hard part is on top. And behind the ears, make sure you open it up all the way around the chin and then have this on. And if it's too loose, you can put a little knot on here on the end and make it tighter. Okay, you could twist it up and you could do it. Some people do it this way. They do like this right here. They do this to make it tighter on the end, and you put it on. Okay. So this is a good thing to use here. So see, it's no good now.
If you like me, all these ones that's hanging in your car that look like this,
if you're not using them,
throw them away. And then you need to wash and clean those cloth ones. You can't just keep putting them on, because what you're doing is still it's contaminated.
And honestly, you can use the cloth ones all you want to, but honestly, I think you should just get these, because these are disposable and you throw them in the garbage can. It's best if you get these. The cloth ones, it's cute, y'all out there wearing your little rhinestones and stuff. I mean, that's cute and everything, but it's doing nothing but just trapping any virus. It's trapping all that stuff in there. So you want to go ahead and take that off. This is the best thing to get if you can, and just disposable, throw them away. Or if you do get the mask, whatever, make sure you wash them all the time. Wash them as much as possible. Because I'm going to tell you, these are not They don't protect you from anything unless the other person got it. Like right now, she exposing the hell out of me right now. Here, put this mask on.
But I can't give it to you.
Fine.
I already had it.
The other person gotta have it. Everybody, look, it can't protect you. This thing ain't gonna protect you unless the other person got it on.
So I'm glad that I got tested.
Yes.
Okay, so
good. So I know you tested. We sitting here, but what about everybody else who's not tested? So listen here. If you're having a conversation with your friend and you got your mask on, you're protecting her, but she's not protecting you. Okay. So I'm just giving you the game. So if you can wear this all you want to, hey, how you doing? But if they don't have it on, they just bust you all in the face with virus. Bam, bam, all in your face.
And I just got a correction. My cousin just texted me. She said her mama is 75. She ain't almost 80. So to Auntie Yvonne, who's 75, I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
Look at your daughter though. She is good. No, she like she is.
She mad because you riding me. That's why she mad.
I'm a rider. Don't worry about it. It's my sister. She gonna have to take it today.
I'm taking it. Look, what Michelle Obama and them did. I'm gonna catch it. If you point your finger at me, I'm gonna catch all the love. How about that?
Look, and she know I love her, and I'm gonna be here for her, no matter what. Black woman power all day long. That's what we're living in right now.
So we going back to
look, but she got tested. I know she COVID negative.
We going back to that kit, that Kaiser kit. They give you supplies for 14 days, and like she said, hand sanitizer, one-time use mask. They give you a digital meter. They give you disinfectant spray, alcohol wipes, waistbands, soap, gloves. And they send me paper products.
Oh, nice.
So they said I wasn't supposed to eat out the same stuff that everybody else. I wasn't supposed to be in the same room as anybody else. Anybody that come in contact with me was supposed to put on gloves and masks and all that. Mr. Wise said whatever happened to me is gonna happen to him. So we didn't do it, and he didn't get tested. You know, we built like a tent, like so we had pillows stacked in the bed.
Yeah, that's cute.
And so we would go under the bed and kind of like hold hands because I couldn't breathe on them. So we would hold hands under the pillow. But that was a journey for me to be like isolated for 10 days, not to be able to go outside and not to just not knowing if I affected my aunties. It was that process. It had me anxious. Yeah, I was starting to feel this anxiety in my chest. And so in order for me not to get anxious, in order for me to beat it, I had to breathe out of it. I had to pray myself out of it.
Yeah. So the best thing to do, you know, if you do catch it, make sure you keep moving. Keep moving around, breathe and take deep breaths. Don't sit still. If you feel yourself you can't breathe, you know, try to get on your stomach. You know, try to lay on your stomach to allow your lungs to expand. So, you know, just keep on moving. That's what they always say. Just keep moving as much as possible. You know.
And so, yeah, and that's what they said. That was another thing. So I have some questions that people were asking.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best.
I'm just saying. I have some questions. And when it comes to diagnosing COVID, which is more effective, nasal swab, throat, or saliva test?
Nasal swab.
The
dry nasal swab. You go up as far as you possibly can to where your eyes start watering, and then they twist it in the nose, and then they do it in the next nostril. They do the same thing. So if your eyes don't water, they didn't go back far enough. Yeah. Okay, so if you get your test and your eyes don't start watering, they didn't go back far enough.
And they don't watering because it hurt. It doesn't hurt.
It's just this uncomfortable feeling. You know, it's just uncomfortable. That's all.
It's only 10 seconds though.
It's only 10 seconds. You go in there. You go in there.
9, 8. Keep talking. 7, 6.
Yeah.
5.
Here we go.
4.
Amen.
3, 2, and it's done. She's like, "Thank you." Other side.
And they hit the other nostril. Yeah. And then you're done. And that's it. And then they put it in there, and you know. And then they also have an antibody test too to let you know if you've been exposed in the past. And that's an IgG test, or an A would pull your blood from you, and then they can find out if you've been exposed in the past. So that, we have a lot of people who, like you said, you didn't have any symptoms at all. And then they find out later that they had COVID, and they were like, "Oh my God, I thought I just had like a sinus infection or whatever." They can take that test and they'll let them know if they've been exposed to it in the past.
And so do you suggest that people that have runny noses or a cough, a cold, a sore throat, I don't think there's anything common anymore. I think if you have those symptoms, they should go
get tested.
Do they need a doctor's note?
No, they can call their doctor's office and let them know that they're having some symptoms. You can call your regular physician, and then they can have you come in. You can go to CVS. There's different places all over. You can do it. CVS has a drive-through, so you can just go through the drive-through. You make an appointment online and give you a confirmation number, and then they And then you just pull up, give them the confirmation number. They put everything in the card. You actually do it yourself.
Okay.
And you just put it in your swab, put it in the bag, put it in the biohazard, and then they'll use the number that they gave you, the confirmation number, to give you your results.
So do you think I couldn't do myself? I mean, I don't think
You can do yourself.
I don't know if I ain't going that far though. I ain't going.
Yes, you can. But if you can't do that, then call your primary care, or you can go into your urgent care and you can have it done.
Because I mean, like I've taken it 7 times, and all 7 times I had to go to Kaiser. I just told them I've been exposed. I just keep telling them I've been exposed,
and that's it.
And they just keep letting me come. They just keep saying, "Come on, man,
come on in there." And you can actually go to LabCorp if you want to know if you had been exposed in the past. You can go to LabCorp request and you can get the antibody test, and you don't even need a doctor's note. You can go online. It's like $10.
Okay.
You know, and you can just sign up for that, and you can go in. You can go in as long as you're not having symptoms. Okay. Then you can go into a LabCorp request.
Okay, and then we also have free testing at Axe Full Gospel, where you can just pull up and they'll take care of.
And at Allen Temple.
And Allen Temple does. Yes. So Axe does it on Tuesdays and Saturdays between 9 and 4.
And I believe that's John Muir. John Muir Health, which is the hospital I belong to. We're actually helping facilitate that there as well.
Now, are there any charges for the one?
No, this is something for the community.
Okay, good. And so I know Altapace does it, Kaiser does it, and West Oakland Health Center also does the testing, right?
Now they will ask you, they do have a questionnaire, and sometimes they do ask you for your healthcare insurance information, but that's just to protect you and also for tracking purposes.
Right.
You know, so just in case you do have COVID and they have the testing, they can go ahead and let your insurance know. And also you're connected to what they call a PUI number that goes to through public health, and that's how they track you. That's how the state knows everything about you. The state reports to the CDC, CDC reports to the HU, and that's how we're able to know that who's been exposed to COVID.
Okay, someone just asked.
COVID,
someone just asked on Facebook, I take blood thinners. What will what would the effect for me be?
See, now this is a good one. Now the blood thinners actually may be a good thing for you, because with COVID, it's something that COVID does to the endothelial cells, which is like the lining and inside the blood cells, inside your blood vessels. It's called the endothelial cells, and it causes clots. So right now we're seeing a lot of post-COVID patients who had COVID, been exposed to COVID. It's really not an issue of when you actually have it. It's when it's over. So the blood thinners actually may help you, because it causes clots, then put you more at risk afterward. That's more of a thing you would talk about post-COVID, after catching it and recovering.
So I tested positive for COVID. Am I still contagious after 14 days? And should I retest for the virus or the antibodies after the isolation period for insurance?
No. So sometimes outside like the 10 days, then you're no longer. So if you're no longer having a fever for more than 24 hours, then usually wait about 48 hours. If you're no longer having a fever, then you're no longer contagious. Like I said, most people are contagious when they're shedding off a fever. That's when they're most contagious.
So that one night that I had a temperature, that's
probably your highlight, because you don't really know when you were actually infected. Usually you can get symptoms between 2 days after you've been, inoculated is what they call it, or 5 to 7 days, so you just never know. You don't know when it actually happened. Like some people like, I don't know where I've been to the grocery store. I don't know. So as long as you're not, shedding a fever, I say for about 48 hours, then you're no longer what we call infectious.
So
that's why they want you to isolate for 10 to 14 days. That way we know it's actually, some people say 10, some is 14. I always say safe is 14, because that's what we came up with in the beginning of COVID. So, outside of that, then you're no longer. That's when you're safe to say you're no longer infectious, because we really don't know when that period actually happened.
So it's best to stay active, make sure you follow what the CDC says. Reach out to your neighborhood healthcare influencers, such as Miss Artesia. And I think you should always know your status.
Yeah. And I mean, you could get tests, get a test as most of the time, if you're like out and like if you're really, really active, try to get one maybe on a weekly basis. That's just how I feel. If you're really active, if you go working out, like if you go to different places like outside gyms that people are starting to attend, if you work at places where you have a lot of people that work with you, like Tesla, there's like so many people in the warehouse, or if you work in an office where there's a lot of people, it's best to get tested as much as possible. You just never know.
Okay, so how would you say, like, okay, say so I told you, I called you and said our teacher says, dang, I got tested positive for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What would your response be? Because what I found out is like people was like, whoa, whoa, she got it. And I said, she got it. I'm like, oh, she got it.
I'll ask you to trace your steps. Where have you been? Because it's not about you getting, because I want to, because for one, if you're calling me, that means that you're not short of breath. So you're fine. I want to know where you've been, because I need to know who you interacted with within that time frame. Because I need you to call every single person and let them know you need to go get tested right now. That's number one. Because they're like I said, one person can affect this person, this person, this person, this person, and you want to nip that in the bud. So that's the first thing. I'm not going to be accusing you like, yeah, I told you so, girl. I told you. Because I mean, you can't help it. That's like somebody getting in a car accident. They walking one day, the next day they're in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? It's like it's a shock. So right now we're all dealing with a trauma of shock because we are wearing masks where, we can't go see our loved ones. To share love is to not go see your parents.
Right.
I love you, so I'm not going to go see you. I mean, you come from a big family like I do. Like I haven't seen my family in a long time, and I'm affected by that, and I got to go to work and deal with this all the time. And dealing with my own trauma, working, and people telling me, oh, you need to be careful. You need to be careful, or not letting me in their house.
Right.
So I mean, we're dealing with a whole lot, and you just have to be, you just have to be aware of who you talk to and trace every single step, even if it's at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know if people go that far, but it would be great to do that. If you go to the grocery store, you touch somebody who's infectious, it's good to just let them know.
I also, like, as I said before, I was feeling ashamed. And then to get a phone call like, girl, I heard, or girl, I saw, or girl, whatever, that response from people is not what people who've been diagnosed with anything want to hear.
That.
You don't want to hear that. And I think, like, in our communities, it's always easier to point a finger. And so when I got those conversations going, and they was popping, they was really popping. And so in one sense, I called a group of ladies up and we did this FaceTime call, and I was like, don't you dare make a person feel like that. Don't you dare point your finger, because what happens is, look in the mirror.
Right.
And point that finger at yourself, because like you said, you wear your mask to protect me.
And COVID is lonely because you have a circle. There's so many people who don't have a circle.
True. That's true.
And they go home and they're by themselves, and being isolated for a day is a long time. Just imagine that for 2 weeks you're in the house by yourself and you have nobody. There is mass amount of people who are dealing with that, who are going home in the home by themselves. Who's going to feed them? Who's going to take them to the doctor's appointments? Right. Who's going to do anything? A lot of people don't have that circle. Some people don't have kids. Right. Some people don't have no husband. They don't have parents. So this is like, don't make a person feel bad. If anything, you need to call them and say, how can I help? Do you need some food? Do you need anything? Drop it off at their stairs. Hell, you can call Instacart and get some groceries to somebody. You can call DoorDash or anything. Drop off some food to people and support them that way. Don't make them feel bad. Don't put guilt already on them, because they already feeling it. You
feel like you slipped.
You already feeling. You feel like you slipping.
You got caught with your pants down.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
And all you did was take a deep breath. It wasn't like your pants was down and you know.
That's not how we do things. That's not how we support each other. In this community, especially, and it's just not cool. And we Black women, we love to gossip. I need for you to pull it all the way in.
That's that girl.
And then call your sister and say, hey, how can I support you? Do you want me to pick your kids up? Matter of fact, they can come over here after they test negative. Your kids can come over here and they can stay here for 14 days while you isolate. Because that's another thing. When we look at the statistics and look at how many people have actually had COVID, Black people are really they're in a smaller margin. We die at a higher because we have more pre-existing conditions. A lot of us have diabetes. A lot of us have hypertension. A lot of us we have other things that causes us to pass faster than any other race. But when it comes to the people, it comes to us who have been infected, it's a very small margin. Actually, more than 50% are Caucasian. You know what I mean? So you would be like, oh my God, like so many Caucasian people, they have it, but we have to kind of rear it in and say, you know what, we need to support one another, because this is not over. And actually, we don't know when this is going to end. And with this new administration, we don't know if he's going to pull everything in or if he's going to push everything out. So, we have to really, we really have to sit down and look at ourselves in the mirror, like you said, and stop talking about each other behind our back and say, oh, girl, you heard about Sam? She had COVID, girl. I told her she was going to get COVID. Instead, you call her and
They
say,
didn't
girl,
do that. They didn't do that. They didn't do that
girl.
to me.
But
Hey.
you be amazed. You be amazed on how many other people they be out and about that didn't call COVID. And they be like, girl, you know she's gonna catch COVID because she be A B C D E F G. Girl, she was at Jeffrey's the other day, girl. Yes, she. You know, and you like Jeffrey's wasn't even open. Girl.
Right.
She was in the front. She was in the front of Jeffrey's
Doing electric slide.
And, you know, people just come up with any old thing because they ain't got nothing to talk about, and they gonna twist your name all up in that thing and make you seem like you're the contagion.
Yeah, I was the one. I was the
like
one.
You're the outbreak monkey. You know what I mean? But you also have to be you have to also understand that not everybody gets the job of being a leader. Sometimes we appoint them.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a lot of us in the community.
Hold on,
you know, so if we're able to get several people in the room, if we can get 10 people in the room, you a leader. So you have to understand that what you do is reflective of everyone who is around you. So if you say, you know what, I'm not doing this no more, though, you could be saving 10 people's lives.
Okay.
You know? Okay.
We got a caller.
Amen.
I didn't know we was having callers. Love D, you on the line?
Here we go.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
who is that?
That's Love D.
Is that Dewana?
This is Dewana.
Hi, Dewana. Now, Dewana, I used to wear all Dewana clothes. She got gear.
So what did you, now you had COVID like when?
I had COVID last June.
Yeah, I heard about it. Somebody called me and told me you had COVID. You know, I hear about everybody on the street.
That was one of them girls. That was one of them girls. Dewana got COVID.
You know, Dewana had COVID, girl. I'm like, oh no. Where'd she get it from? Oh.
And I just want for our people, Black people, to pick their battles, because the main people who are so scared and telling you, put on your mask, where's your mask, don't come around me, this and that, you guys are the main people who don't want to take the vaccine. So, I mean, what we going to do, Black people? You going to go take the vaccine, so if you get COVID, you won't get that sick, or you going to keep living in fear? I think we put all of these fried foods and bad things into our bodies, alcohol amongst other things, but we're scared of the vaccine.
And you know what? She's saying it. You know what? You said it more clear than I could ever say it.
I just think they afraid of what the unknown. I think they're afraid of the unknown.
But we put things in our body, like you saying, we put a lot of things in our body in the unknown.
Baby, listen, you're going to either be scared of COVID or you're going to be scared of the vaccine. Pick your battle.
So she said,
you got to be educated.
She said, love
educate yourself.
Okay, so you getting the vaccine, it sounds like.
I will get the vaccine when it's offered to me if there is, because they still have questions as to where can you be reinfected.
You can be reinfected. You can be reinfected.
Are my antibodies keeping me safe from the new strand or from the old strand? There's still so many questions. So when you have that amount of questions, it seems like the vaccine is your only recourse. So pick your battles, Black people.
Come on now.
I'm not Black, I'm brown.
Well, the vaccination, I really think that people should educate themselves. I can't tell you how to make your mind up. I tell people to read. We can't look at news. We can't look at social media. Right. We can't look at all the propaganda that we are exposed to on CNN and Fox and whatever media you choose to look at. We can't use that as a way of making our decisions. We can't look at, look at these vaccinations and things like that happen in the past. I hear things about the measles. Reading is fundamental. And all kind of stuff. Come on now.
Magazines.
Come on now.
I ain't playing with these.
Come on now. And that's all I'm saying. I tell people all the time, like, I'm not here to help you make your mind up. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'll give you, I'm just here to just try to give you the information that you need. And if I don't know, I'll find out for you. You know what I mean? And try to interpret it for you so that you understand and make a decision up for yourself.
So someone asked, and I can't see all the asks, but someone said test results are only last for so long. So you said everybody should get tested weekly?
I would get it if you're in an environment where you're with a lot of people. I would get tested on a weekly basis. If you have the means to do so, I would do it. Especially if you have a home full of people who have pre-existing conditions, I would do it. Even if you have children, like we right now, we got kids who still going to these outside workouts with other kids. Some people are getting COVID from their children.
Yeah.
And they come home from basketball practice or baseball, whatever sport your child play, and they give you a little kiss. Hey, mommy, sitting there talking, hee hee ha ha, and the next thing you know, you got it. You like, I know damn well my baby didn't just give me COVID. Yes, he did. Right. So you have to get tested almost weekly if you continue to stay active in the community like you do. So you have to make a decision: stay in the house or go outside and go get tested.
So you understand?
It's just that simple for me because I'm not going to live in fear. If I want to be outside, I'm not going to sweat anybody about having on their mask, and I don't want nobody sweating me about having on mine. Because if you that scared, don't come outside.
I think,
and that's just me.
You just got to pick the people that think like you. Now, if somebody don't want to wear their mask, then for me now it's like, okay, now I can't kick it like that because I understand what it does for me not to be protected at all time because I do deal with people. I do have a husband that has a condition. My daughter is a nurse. She can't take by me being irresponsible that one time, then she got to go deal with patients. So I can no longer.
Those aren't the people that you're getting into with about wearing a mask. Most people who you're having worse with about wearing masks are people that you don't know.
But I mean, it's people that's around you that may not wear a mask. Those are the ones who usually don't wear a mask, or the ones who know you the best.
Yeah,
because they're comfortable with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And that's exactly. I think that's how I got it because I was comfortable with the people that I was with. Like, girl, we've been done. And then we was been done. We all had to go get tested. We all had to go lay down for 14, 15 days. That hits you, and like you said,
a friend of mine.
There's people in healthcare that give you conflicting information because if I go see my gynecologist is telling me one thing. If I see my general doctor is telling me another thing. Now I'm listening to Artesia, and she's saying a whole other thing. So I just feel like it's misinformation on every end.
Well, it's a novel. Well, this is a novel virus, though.
Which said if you have the antibodies, you're protected. That's my general doctor.
But see, it is a novel virus.
Gynecologist says you won't be protected by the new strand. So I feel like all the medical people are giving different information.
So I mean, the thing about it is this: it's a novel virus, so it's new. So every day is something. Everybody learning as they go. Like right now, we're finding out that people that has been exposed to COVID are having post-COVID symptoms, and they're calling them long haulers. So that's the new thing.
Me.
So you are hearing about people having, I'm reading about it because because I have a research background, and that's what I do on a daily basis. And I'm an advocate for my patients. I do a lot of research. I read a lot. And when I say I read a lot, I'm talking about, y'all, this is just from a day of reading. I read a lot. And this is not information I get off of social media, like .coms. This is stuff from .gov, .net, .org. This is information that are actual studies about the things.
She got Harvard stuff here.
And I read it consistently because I want to make sure that I stay abreast on what's going on. Also, my job is to find out what resources are out there. And I mean, you have a family, you have a home to go to, right? Let's talk about people who are homeless, right? They don't have a place to go.
Like none of them get it.
But they do. They do
get tested.
It's just that a lot of them, they come into the hospital when they're at their worst. Homelessness is a diagnosis. And the reason why is that just because you're homeless don't mean you got diabetes or any other problem. It's because they don't have the resources like you do, like a home. Say if somebody got a respiratory problem and now they need to be on oxygen after having COVID, and they don't have a home for me to put a concentrator in. Where am I going to put them?
What's a concentrator?
Concentrator is something that's able to put more oxygen into your portable, the thing that you drag around.
Okay.
So they're able to fill it up. What if you don't have that ability though? What if you don't have a home? What if now you got to go home? You was walking just fine, and COVID causes a little necrotic, like something at the bottom of your feet. It's completely black. So it hurts you to walk. So now you was walking just fine, right? Now you can't walk. Now you got a walker or a cane or a wheelchair or whoever. Who gonna get you out of bed and put you in that wheelchair?
Yeah.
So it don't matter how old you are. It don't matter if you want to wear a mask or the next person wear a mask. You can affect somebody just like that, where they was walking just fine, driving, going to work, and the next day they got oxygen. Now they can't breathe. So many different problems, and it's just that fast. So people have to really be, just be aware that, you want to go outside and have fun. I get that. Fine. Do all you got to do. But if you got COVID, understand that there's other people that's affected too, and their families, and anybody else's family, and a grandmother. Think about your family. What if it was your family, your grandma, your mama, your daddy? You know what I'm saying? You have to think like that now. So, I mean, if we're living in scary times, and like I said, we don't even know how long we're going to be at this. And it's now coming close to home. You in your home, somebody next door done had COVID. You hear about that all the time. Every time you go home, you hear about somebody that had COVID. Before, you didn't hear about it before. About what, 6 months ago? You be like, girl, everybody got COVID. I don't know nobody in my neighborhood got COVID. I don't know. Next year, that fast though. It's a pandemic. So in every country, that's serious. If you look at the news, in all these hospitals getting shut down with people that have COVID. What about the people who are sick that's at home? They got their own condition, other stuff.
Yeah.
You looking on the news, you look at Gavin Newsom, he talking about, these hospitals is full and it's this many beds that's left for ICU. What about the people that got other conditions? Where are they going to go? So it's up to the person to make a decision. Let me sit my butt down. If you got COVID, you can sit in the house for 14 days, do what you need to do, but don't go out infecting people and think that you invincible because you didn't have no symptoms. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get it again, and guess what?
Auntie August said, speak on it, Artesia. I just got a couple more things that I want to go over, and then we're going to kind of wrap it up.
Thank you for taking my call, Artesia. It was good to hear your voice. You
girl,
articulate. You look
I still listen to some Tony Braxton because of you, girl. She exposed me to Tony Braxton.
Y'all just
I need a man. And okay. Yes.
Okay. They already had COVID, but they're having after symptoms. Are they, if they were to be tested, are they considered positive?
So,
reiterate
what she just asked you, because they may not be able.
So, say it again. I'm sorry. So she want to know more about long haulers, right?
Like, are they contagious? And basically, are they contagious?
They're no longer contagious. They call them long haulers because they're getting they're now finding out other symptoms that's happening to them after they've had COVID. Also, it could be blood clots. Some people are getting blood clots because, like I said, the endothelial cells, it does something to them. And that's what coats the inside of your blood vessels. It does something to it to where it makes the blood clot. And clots running all the way through your system. It can end up anywhere. It can end up in your leg, causing DVT. It can end up in your lungs. It can end up in your heart. It can end up in your brain and cause a blockage. And that makes people have heart attacks, strokes, anything. And it can be months after. You know what I'm saying? So they're writing about that. You can look that up on the internet. You can see what long haulers are. So that's the new research that's coming out right now that I'm reading about on CDC, the news. They're talking about that because people are coming forward. Also, they're talking about brain fogs where people like their memory. Yeah. They're like, I don't even.
I think I got that.
You had the brain fog?
I think I be getting it all the time. I be forgetting stuff.
And
I'm just saying, but they said that's the most commonly reported when they got long-term symptoms. Fatigue, shortness of breath, cough, joint pains, chest pains.
That's it.
Other difficulties with thinking and concentration.
Yeah.
See, that's my problem. Depression, which, you got to walk yourself out of depression. You got to start thinking things more positive. You still woke up. So don't allow yourself to always think about that black box that COVID can put you in. Think positive and then move forward. Just move forward because God is going to he is your healer. God is definitely your healer, but he ain't going to make us be stupid because a lot of times we be Jesus. But Jesus gave us all these tools to use.
But he also said, do the work.
Do the work.
You got to do the work. So, I mean, like right now, science is the key, along with, your biblical studies,
that's
to keep your faith up. Also, you need to find out who is your support system right now.
Right. And you can FaceTime people.
You can, but you definitely need to know who is your support system. You need to know who is the durable power of attorney, who gonna speak for you when you can't speak for yourself. Who do you trust? Because it's real serious. Because it doesn't matter your age. Like I said, I remember I read something. Girl was 22 years old, had got it, and she had She had a lung transplant. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter the age you are. You need to find out who is in your support system, who can speak to these medical people when you can't.
Right.
Who can do it?
And so,
who do you trust?
Artesia, so when I told people that, some people that work in the health field, I didn't know people in the hospitals didn't get tested. And that, which I find that's kind of what they say, ass backwards. I think people that in the hospital should always be tested. How you gonna receive people and you got it? And so I saw the news last week about the lady going into Kaiser with the Christmas tree costume on. And she infected everybody that was in the emergency ward. I was only there because
I can't answer for Kaiser. I can't answer for them.
I'm just saying I
can't answer for any institution.
I'm just saying, but I think, in my opinion, I think that healthcare workers should have to go through being tested. Because if you've never, I know people that work at Kaiser, Highland, all these various hospitals, and I asked them that question: have you ever been? Oh, my job don't make me get tested. But in the hospital, we, like I said, if you got a mask on, then you're protecting me. If I got a mask on, I'm protecting you. Right. So in the hospital, we can't go anywhere. In no hospital, you can't go anywhere without a mask. So this right here, just alone, can save people's lives. Okay. So this right here is what is that's the important part right here. And that's what, we have our new president. He's trying to make sure that's federally mandated. Like, everybody got to wear a mask. If everyone wear a mask, then you're protected. Okay. Period. Okay. And then I was told also, sleep on my stomach. Yes. And what's the significance of sleep on your stomach? Your lungs. So full expansion. So it opens it up when I never want to lay on my back. You don't want to lay on your back when you're having a shortness of breath. And then everybody go like this. That's right here, right? You're like, I can't breathe. You want to get just like this. Okay. Get full expansion. So it smashes when you lay on your back. It smashes your lungs. Smashes. Okay. And then I was also reminded to get up every couple of hours. Every couple of hours, you want to walk around and make sure you're breathing and doing different things. All that. Also, that helps. Just keep you walking. It also keeps down new clots from developing. If you continue to walk, it keeps new clots from developing in the body. And what about milk? I was told milk is a no-no. Well, everybody talks about it. It's a mucus, because the mucus, if it's caught into the lungs, what happens is that the COVID goes into the lungs and it destroys the alveolar function inside your lung, which is responsible for gas exchange. Because we breathe in, we need oxygen. So we breathe in oxygen and we push out carbon dioxide. So the alveolars inside of our our lungs is responsible for that. Yes. The abla. You have to have gas extraction. I'm just saying it's important. It's important for gas exchange. So COVID, it destroys that. And you have to make sure that you don't take in a lot of things that produces mucus, because if it gets trapped in there, that's why people are getting pneumonia, because pneumonia is basically like a sponge. It's like a sponge and it just pulls in all the fluid. If you take a sponge and all that fluid is in there, you can wring it out or whatever. If you have it's heavy, so that's all into your lungs and it just sits there. So you want to make sure this anything that causes a lot of mucus, you just want to avoid it. And so when I was sick, my daughter made sure I had elderberry, and then I had like a tea, and I did vinegar lemon water, like hot. So I didn't drink anything cold. What's the significance of having something cold versus something hot or warm, or room temperature? Steam, breaking it up, but again, a virus there's no cure for it. So you just have to let it run its course. I'm not sure if we have any more questions. I think sister, she laid it down. She's so smart. She's extremely smart. And when you see why we call her a healthcare influencer, because she was speaking terms, layman's terms, until she said, I'm a number do that. Look, I can't even say it right all the time. I don't know what it does. When she did this, that means there's something inside of that. So I hope, we helped you guys better understand COVID and how you're to respond to people that have COVID. Just be supportive. And if somebody called you to tell you, and I really want you guys to do your research about vaccinations. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when we talk about vaccinations, everybody gets really, really nervous about it. But I want you to do your research, okay? Because this is not a live. Okay, so when you get a flu shot, it's what we call a quadrivalent, because it has different strands of it, and it is a strand of flu, right? But it's dead.
Whereas this is a copycat. It's like a clone. It's like a clone of COVID that they're putting into your system. It's synthetic. It's not a live culture. So it's not there to cause harm to you. It's basically putting, like I say, putting a bullet in the gun. So as soon as you get infected, it's like, pow. And then it alerts your immune system to react to whatever you're being infected with. So it's not, don't look at it as a bad thing. I know we have our disparities in the African-American community. We look at our past. We look at, the syphilis project. We look at the vaccinations in the New York prison system.
I think
we look at all these different things. We don't trust
We don't trust it.
right? But we also don't have enough people in the industry, in this industry, to also inflict change.
So you took the vaccine.
I took it. I was like, hey,
So you
I was,
volunteered to take it, or did your job mandate it?
my job said to me, it's a choice. And I jumped in there because I did my research. I do believe in science. I'm tired of wearing masks. I'm tired of looking like this. You know what I'm saying? And I want us to get back to living our regular lives. And the faster we become vaccinated and then, take these masks off, and then they can, start a herd immunity. But, I think that's what we're going toward. Then, then we'll be better off.
Questions I can't see, but somebody said after about the vaccination, which you talked about it. So do you took both?
I took the I took the Pfizer. So United States was able to get a authorization. That was before Moderna was released. People always have questions about vaccinations, but the reality, and it was like, oh, it's too fast. But let me, it takes 12 to 18 months to produce a vaccination. Okay. The reason why most things take a long time is because in the United States, our pharmaceutical industry is so expensive because they get funding from other entities. This one was funded by the government. So they were able to do phases 1, 2, and 3 simultaneously. They had people who were pushing themselves into the clinical trials. They had about 45,000 people, I believe. That's more than what most drugs that we use on an everyday basis has in the clinical trial. So I thought that was like remarkable. And then with Moderna, I believe it was about 35,000. And they looked at different people with all different walks, different backgrounds, different, metabolic symptoms and diagnosis. They did their research to get it out there safely. The things that we're seeing, if it was that serious, we would have several people would have anaphylactic shock. Several people would have Bell's palsy.
So that lady that time on TV, when she took that shot and she just passed out, like,
you're gonna have every clinical trial has people who has reactions to it. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, look up Viagra. Look up what you use. Look at Viagra. People, they still popping men pop Viagra and Cialis. But hey, I'm just saying, it's a lot of folks that know about Viagra. Y'all need to look at how many people's in them clinical trials. And I see y'all popping those. Y'all popping the ones at the liquor store. I'm just saying. So, we got women that wear makeup. All this makeup got all types of stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? MAC got all types of stuff in it. All the different makeup that you put on your face is the same type. But look at the stuff that's in that, and then look at the stuff that's also in this vaccination.
So we have a question.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So there's 2 vaccines. There's the Pfizer and the Moderna.
Right.
They're saying there's a second strand of the coronavirus that I guess just simultaneously duplicated itself and came out. Does the DNA makeup in Moderna and Pfizer apply to the second strand of the coronavirus?
She's asking about
the second strand. So there is every virus mutates. Everything. How many people get it? It mutates. Okay. So the one that we have now, I believe that it is effective against the variant that they found in the UK. The one that they're finding in South Africa, they're still doing studies on it. But regardless, the components of the virus is helpful for you. So even if you do get it, it will help you. Even the freaking flu, they're finding that the flu vaccination even helps out too, from the research I've been looking at, which is several. So it's helping against the one in UK, but they're now still studying the one in South Africa. In South Africa.
So I'm getting texts from people saying they took the vaccine. One lady, Flo, said she took the vaccine and she still ended up getting COVID. Does that mean that was already in her system?
It was already in your system. It was already in your system.
Okay.
So, and plus the first vaccination is only 52%. And it takes about 2 weeks after you are inoculated for the antibodies to come to that full percentage. Okay, so if you have it, if you've gotten it, it takes 14 days to get to the full antibody strain, which is about 52%. The second one pulls you up to about 95%, which takes an additional 2 weeks. So in between each one, it's about 3 weeks you have to wait to get each inoculation.
So if I were to take it today, if I was to get my vaccination today, I have to wait another 2 or 3 weeks to get the second
3 weeks
one?
to get the second.
Get the second one.
Yeah.
And then
And I think Moderna is 28 days. So I think
Okay.
theirs is 28 days. And Pfizer is 21 days.
Okay. And so I hear that today I think they announced that there's going to be another one. Is it Bayer, one of those companies going to come up with another?
AstraZeneca's coming out next, I believe.
Now, the formula the same?
Huh?
Are they all the same formula?
They're all the
They just
same.
put it in a different bottle?
They're all synthetic mRNA, which is messenger RNA, which is a copycat of the DNA of the actual virus.
So it's just like, okay, yeah, I got that. I'm just going to put it into my bottle.
I'm just going to put it in your system. And I'm gonna put my name exactly. So each and these like Moderna is ours. So it's ours made here in the United States. Pfizer is a German made, so that's why they had to get a U.S. authorization to use it here in the United States.
Okay, so Granny said, she said she took the shot. She says, I'm good. I had it on Wednesday, had a headache on Thursday, but back at it today. So thankful to have gotten it out the way. Not having it for a person like me with multiple health issues and working within the health community, she felt that she had to take it. So she had minor the headaches, but she said she had it on Wednesday, but she was back to work today, which is Friday.
That's her immune system working.
And she got the Pfizer. She said she got the Pfizer vaccine.
And when you have those symptoms that after having it, it's because your immune system is working. So our immune system is fighting whatever's in the system. If it's not, that's how it is. We have homeostasis in our body. It keeps our body balanced. And but I'm just saying, it keeps our blood pressure, keeps everything regulated. So that's what it does. So all it did was tells the immune system, all right, you need to start working. And from it working, fever, fatigue, you get all that in your system.
We are popping on Facebook and YouTube, y'all. Y'all is constantly staying with us. We appreciate that. we gonna comment down. But someone asked, do you still have to wear your mask after you vaccine?
Yeah.
After you get the vaccine?
Yeah, it's 95%. You got a 5% chance.
Yeah.
Now they're still doing the research to find out if just because you're vaccinated, they're trying to figure out if you are contagious still. If you can pass it to the next person. I haven't seen any research on that yet. I'm still trying to find research on that yet. But, this is new. We are just now getting vaccinated. So I'm sure the next study that I end up reading is based on that, on if I'm still contagious, can I still pass it to the next person, even though I have been vaccinated? So I'm sure that'll be the next one that we'll see.
So you're going to come back and tell us about your research. Because you are our Oakland health influencer. We trust you. Y'all give it up for my sister, Miss Artesia. We have a little audience. We appreciate y'all. But okay, we're gonna take it offline. We're gonna take the COVID conversation. You have any questions, go ahead and put them here, and I'll have Artesia get back to you. Or we can send you guys some information. We're gonna put it down in the link below. Artesia, where are you guys? They had a question since we have nominated you Queen health influencer of the Bay Area.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She the queen, y'all. Y'all see my sister? She the queen.
But y'all, I want to give a shout out to I can't take it no more. I would like to give a shout out to all my healthcare workers, especially my nurses, because we do different functions in the hospital. We have some that are immediately at the bedside. We have some that's working in the community, that work in public health, that are calling you on the phone to make sure you got your medications, making sure you receive the things that we're sending you home with. The type of job that I do, I work in an interdisciplinary team. So the way I describe my job is that when you go to the hospital, you have your charge nurse. The charge nurse is the person who manages the nurses, and then you have your inpatient case manager, and I manage the patients. So anybody that comes and interacts with the nurses, it could be the physicians, the doctors, or even the patients as far as being assigned, the charge nurse handles that. And anybody that interferes with the patient, it could be the doctor, the insurance company, whomever is in your care team. I'm the person that's in the middle of that. And I can dictate and help you navigate through the system, advocate for you. If they're sending you home too soon, I'm the one that get all in your business and ask you, who at home?
Right.
Where your kids at?
Right.
Who feeding your kids? And I speak different terms as far as like culturally. I understand where you come from. I even ask you about your drug background, how much alcohol, because a lot of things that people don't understand is that your socioeconomic background, where you come from, determines your health career. You understand? So you could be the healthiest person in the world, but if you go home every day and you drink as much as you possibly can, you know what I mean? That right there, that can determine how your body may be later on down the line. And if you continue to see me and continue to see me and continue to see me, I'm going to keep asking you, why do you keep coming here? I'm going to get all in your business so I can figure out what can I give you, what resources can I provide for you so that you can stay healthy and take care of yourself.
Okay, so when you just said alcohol.
Oh yeah,
Cocktail.
alcohol.
So
People
we
doing
should-
that now.
so
That's what I'm seeing
so
right now.
people-
People at home getting their drink on because they sad. They
But
can't go outside.
so if you've been diagnosed with COVID, you shouldn't be drinking nothing. You should be drinking water and tea and what's that? No.
People be drinking up a storm, honey.
Well,
we got
somebody
nurses
told-
that go home and
I'm
have a
just
cocktail
saying,
because they can't. I mean, But I tell people, huh? I mean, the thing, you want to keep yourself as clear as possible. And then also, that's right, it thins your blood. It does, it thins your blood, and also, alcohol, you just want to be very, very careful. And living in Oakland, we are not out of touch we have a lot of family members, a lot of people that we know who had drug addiction, that were on crack cocaine, that was alcoholics. We got a lot of family members who was like that. And those are dispositions that we can also put ourselves in that same predicament. If you're at home sad, you have no support, you have nobody that's there for you. People are starting to drink a lot. Depression is kicking in. They have a COVID fatigue. They can't go outside. People are going to become addicts. And we're seeing a lot of these things happening. And, find you a prayer circle, find you some support.
That's important.
Get these Zoom. I know Zoom is getting on everybody's nerves, but you know what? It helps.
Zoom and talk to your girlfriend.
Right.
Like, hey girl,
You gotta call, check in,
girl.
And also, if you know any nurses, check in with your nurse sisters, call them and see how they're doing, because it's hard to go to work and take care of people and then come home and take care of your family and then go back at it over and over and over and over again. Like I said, this is a novel virus. This is something new for us. And we don't know when this is going to be over. And a lot of us are exhausted. We are tired.
So
and
we're gonna make sure we think about and keep our healthcare professionals in our prayers. As she said, it's a very stressful.
Yes, lay hands on them.
And if people at your house like me, when I be ringing the bell, My daughter have to come. She here now. She gave me my elderberry. She makes sure I do my breathing treatment.
You have a daughter, do not worry her to death if you got a headache.
I ain't worrying her.
Okay, a headache.
Daughter, am I worrying you?
Oh!
She's supposed to say yes. So listen, we're gonna close out because this week was a very special week for people of color, women of color. We have our first Black Madam VP, and she's represented, and she's from the Bay Area.
Come on now.
And then the way that she was received by her other sister, Michelle Obama, she, pointed to her, this is your turn, girl. And she caught it like, I got you, sis. We need to make sure that we continue that. So I threw the one at my sis, and she threw it right back, and she was.
I want to support my girl,
And she gonna keep
health and wellness
check.
is important,
Right.
very much important. This community need to continue to stay healthy. Do what you can,
Wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands.
Mask up.
Try to get as far away from the other person. But if you're not able to, just be aware of what you're doing and be very, very careful, everybody. Please stay safe. Please.
Last thing. What did you think about the Keisha Cole thing last night? The Keisha Cole. I got it.
She walked in that thing like.
No, that's how she came. I'm just saying, she was cute.
She was hella cute. I don't care what
She
y'all
was
say.
cute.
That bustier was popping.
No, I don't know. She did. Look like she about to have a nip slip.
And she was like this with
Her
that
hair was cute, but she was there.
I'm Kardashian black too, so I get that Kardashian black.
I didn't hear it. I'm just saying. So we gonna go ahead and sign off.
She came in that sucker late. I was gonna show up late and do a
I
repeat.
told her, don't keep a call on me now. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna be like,
She would be like this about herself for 30 minutes. Like,
I'm gonna have to start singing with the microphone. Y'all know I love microphone checker. That's what I'm saying. But we appreciate you guys for tuning into our very first session of Samantha Wise Words. If you like it on YouTube, subscribe, because I'm gonna try to come to you weekly with somebody from the neighborhood or our community to come and talk to you about, you know, things that we're going through. And then we're gonna probably have a session where it's current affairs. We're gonna call it a current affair session. We're gonna also have a fashion session that's gonna be brought to you by Mika of Spoil Boutique. My outfit,
Spoil Boutique is bad, honey.
she styled me today. I can't let you see.
If y'all can see the boots she got on right now.
She messing with me. But then also my niece Courtney for doing the setup.
Oh, you want to show me your Ashanti outfit?
No, I ain't showing her my outfit. She played too much.
I said you'll be pulling out your crotch in a minute, honey.
Right. She over here telling my business. Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. We love y'all. We love the questions. We kept y'all between 70 and 80 people. We popping on this Friday, but next week it's gonna be on Thursdays. So we give it up to y'all. I love you, sister.
Love you too,
I love y'all, audience people. If y'all
Stay
like
safe,
it,
y'all. Seriously. I want you to read. I want you to read.
And if you had COVID, I'm praying for the people that passed. I can't not say COVID don't hurt people. It do hurt people. And so we want to make sure we keep those people in prayer. We didn't talk about it.
Yes.
But everybody didn't make it out of COVID.
No, they did not.
My sister Dottie had a hard time. Sister, we got you. We keep you in our prayers.
That is my girl. I love the, that's my girl. I definitely want to give her shout outs because she did do a video and her video was very inspiring. She walked us all the way through her whole experience. And, good thing about her is that she had a very beautiful family who was supportive. Her sister was like on it. I was, I talked to her,
I was texting.
And I was giving her some genre and she'd call me back and be like, girl, da, 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 da. And I'm like, hell yeah. If we can just, like I said, find you a support system, somebody you trust. And like I said, the most important thing is to find someone who could speak for you when you cannot speak for yourself. And that is the most important thing I'm gonna take away today, because we you just never know what we find at all.
They turn the music on us.
Hey, she cut me up.
Hey, we gotta go. Tune in next week. We gotta go. Tune in next week. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Samantha Wise Words in the house. We gotta go. Hey, will you do your hair like that? Hey,
Hey, hey, hey.